All right, everybody, welcome to the Getting Outdoors podcast, episode number 245. And I don't know if y'all can see this. I don't even have any notes. I usually got 2 or 3 pages of show notes, but I am honored to have in the studio with me some old time catfishermen, Johnny Webb and Billy Johnson, Tut to his grandchildren, and I am Taylor Renfrow, right? Taylor, I know her as Little Taylor. You set all this up, my dear. Welcome. Ain't technology amazing?
It is. It is very amazing.
What we want to do today, we want to go back, and we are very, we don't know, as we get old, you don't remember like you used to, but I'm thinking this was started back in 2000. According to William Malone's website, this Pine Barren Invitational Tournament was started back in 99 and 2000. Back in that, right, Billy? Is
that's close, yeah.
And the reason it was started was because y'all were featured in a magazine one time.
That's right.
And all these little old young boys, they thought they could whoop y'all, didn't they?
Yeah, they thought they could.
And what y'all just went out there the first year and just showed them how it's done.
We got it done.
Yep. They didn't know how much hard work was involved. And they go out there and put out 50 or 60 hooks and think they're gonna win. Johnny and I put out 600 or 800 hooks. It was fun.
Taylor, do you remember that? Because I showed a picture of you on the screen the first year. You, how old were you in 2000?
I would have been about 2 there.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't recall that year, but I do remember so many memories at the tournament. As I got older, I actually found a YouTube video yesterday, Big Daddy, of me helping you weighing in fish when I was a little bit older. So it was a fun time, that's for sure. It was. I have lots of fond memories of it.
It was an invitational tournament, and I don't know enough about it really to be a host today, but I got the 2 masters in here. But do y'all remember how the rules worked and how everything worked, Johnny?
I know we went met up out at what was Hunter's Run now. I don't know what it was then.
Yeah.
But we with William Malone, some of the younger guys like that, and of course Forrest and John Powell were getting humiliated a little bit about it. They were gonna beat us bad, and so we stayed out there and had a good time and came up with the rules, but it was we were gonna have some rules, but they really were expected to be broken.
I think one of the rules, the rules are expected to be followed. No, the rules should be followed, but are expected to be broken.
Exactly.
But the crew, and we're going to talk about this, the crew of fishermen, and we've lost so many of them because Forrest was a big part of it. Wayne Dunham and Wayne Guy and Billy Chestnut and so
Brad Poe,
and it was just such a great time. In the first few years, it was just it got a little out of hand.
It got big.
It got real big. But Taylor, share your memories with it, because that's why we're doing this, is for all being Billy and Johnny be gone for long, but you gonna be able to tell your grandchildren about this. Share your memories with us.
Oh goodness, so many. I just remember. I don't remember the days leading up to the actual night of the final catfish tournament. I just remember when we would all meet at the river house at the end of the tournament and weigh in all the fish. And then we would have music. I remember as a little girl getting on the mic with the people singing to do music. And I remember a lot of fried food and just lots of fun time together with a huge crowd of people who I haven't seen in years. But it felt like a big group of family together. But I always remember asking Tut and Johnny Webb, did y'all cheat this year? They never would tell me. But it was such a so many fun memories. And every time we go back to the River House now, I just have so many fond memories come up of the Catfish tournament, and still things out there like the table that we weighed all the fish on and all those things that are still at the River Cabin from the tournament. So that's pretty cool.
What about this right here? The Wayne Dunham Brad pole dance floor. You remember you put that new patio out, that new deck out there, and we named it the Wayne Dunham Brad pole dance floor.
I think that Mr. Wayne would sprinkle like some baby powder or flour or something out there so that he could cornmeal. Yeah, really scoot his feet around and get to dancing.
Oh, it was fun. It was a family atmosphere. It was really a family atmosphere, and then the kids had as much fun as the adults. And the weigh-in was a production. Now, you remember the lie detector test?
Yeah, we made the machine.
Yeah,
it was pretty complicated.
But and I videoed it. I got a couple of videos. I know I got the weigh-in video of one and the cooking of one. Did you see both of them, Taylor?
I didn't see the cooking one.
I'll put the link in the details of this podcast. I got Van cooking the hush puppies and Philip Luca cutting the red out of the yellow fish.
Yeah,
pretty good.
I tell you what, the cooks. The reason it was so popular.
Right.
I mean, the fishermen had fun, but the cooks made it worth the trip.
And I'll never forget what Van Waring said when I asked him how many fish he was going to cook. He said, well, I don't know that. He said, we're going to cook till everybody gets full or we run out of fish. And that's what they did too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that last one, I know it was 300 people there.
Yes.
It was at least I didn't know half of them.
And I was at 3 a.m. I was the DJ. I was spinning the music. Boy, we had some fun. We sure did. Let's go back to the fishing part of it, because that's what I really enjoy. This lake, for long as y'all been here and I've been here, the fishing and especially the catfishing it's still just as good as it always was.
I don't know, Big Daddy. It was a period in there when Johnny and I had thinned them out pretty good. But over the years, the last good many years, we hadn't fished, and I understand the population's back up.
Well, I remember one year, and I'm thinking it was William and Fleetwood beat y'all's record, and y'all were the judges. And you had, I think you got a signed document from the Corps of Engineers that because the water was so low, it made it easier to catch fish. So y'all docked them 100 pounds.
That's right. That's right. It was, the smaller the pond, the easier to catch.
Yeah, so y'all docked them 100 pounds where they wouldn't beat y'all's record.
Yeah.
Exactly. But they did cheat. Had to get that.
You think so?
Yeah, don't you?
Oh yeah. I think everybody cheated.
Oh yeah, they did.
Except us. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now it was a tournament. It was a tournament where it was trot lines, jugging. It was all catfish. Could you use reeling rods? Do y'all remember?
Nobody did, but I think it was a few electrical devices out there at one time.
Yeah,
some of these modern electrical devices.
Those young boys, one of them came in, his hair was standing right up where he grabbed the wrong end of the telephone.
But these guys right here is what started it all. Well, that's you and Johnny right there. Y'all remember that old boat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who took that picture, Rick? Y'all remember?
I have no idea.
But that was y'all had what is that?
We were right young then, wasn't we?
Yeah. And you know what's hard to believe? I did it. Two of us married two beautiful lady
That is
that became the first queens of the whole thing.
that is correct. Mandy and sister sure
Yep.
did. And
We forgot it was a beauty contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a beauty contest, and we had the biggest fish, and I think we added something later on because I remember Lee Chestnut was here. He was here from New York,
Right.
and we gave a prize in memory of his daddy. I don't remember what that was, but
I don't know.
but I remember that. And,
It's probably a fish.
yeah, I really loved the fish. It was a great time.
He was a good one.
Good guy.
The Pine Barren Invitational Tournament. I don't know. I really don't. It went 5 or 6 or 7, 8 years, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. William sent me a website the other night, and I didn't get a chance to look at it as much as I did. I did get a bunch of pictures off of it. But this is being possible because Taylor, she messaged me and said, "What your husband wanted to hear it."
Yeah. My husband, Big Daddy, he's a big fan of your podcast. He loves it. And Mim and Tut were up here visiting us last weekend in North Carolina. And I guess Tut and Ryan got to talking about the river and fishing and all the things. And after they left, Ryan said, "Man, we need to get Tut on Big Daddy's podcast." So that was when I messaged you as a request.
Here they are. Well, look.
Hey, he was one of the losers.
I hope I'm not interrupting a good story.
We try to remember now. Johnny has said that you and Fleetwood knocked them off the crown 1 year, but that y'all cheated, William.
They found the old big yellow cat floating down the river.
It's been dead for a week.
Well, I'm glad you're on here. They've been talking bad about the young fishermen, William.
Big Daddy, I told William, I said, "I'll tell you what, William, we're gonna clean this fish, and you're gonna be the one to have to eat it."
That fish was still trying to jump out of the boat when we got to Pine Barren Creek. Hey, know that.
Oh, wait.
It was fun though.
William, when did it start? Do you remember when it first started?
I believe it was the year 2000. I'm looking back at some notes here. Yes, it was the year 2000 when it started, and we did it. That first year we did it a little. We just started. I think you couldn't bait up until Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, that was the rule all along, but it was broken every time.
No, we changed it where you could start baiting up Thursday afternoon, but you couldn't take any fish off until Friday afternoon. But you know, y'all had to start earlier because y'all had that barrel and all that you had to fill up.
Well, we didn't have the fish that had been in the barrel so long the other fish had eaten the tail off. Y'all remember that? And well, we were not fishing. We were judges at that time. And were you the one?
No, that was
We not grading them. We just weighing them.
William, the thing we were talking a while ago that I remember was the year. Somebody's getting some feedback somewhere. You ain't listening on your phone, are you, William?
I am.
You might want to cut it off because I'm getting some feed. I mean, no.
I'm just on my phone. That's
Oh, yeah.
all.
Yeah. I just thought I heard some feedback. But anyway, we were talking about the year that Billy and Johnny lost the belts to you and Fleetwood, and they had the Corps of Engineers say that the pool was pulled down so low. Now, correct me, didn't they have the document and everything on that where they docked y'all 100 pounds where y'all wouldn't be the? How did that work? How do you remember that?
So let's see. They had, let's see, what year? I'm trying to look back at. at my notes. So, okay, in 2004, they had caught 369 pounds, 369.2 pounds. And they said that they would not come out of retirement again. They retired and said they would not come out of retirement unless somebody beat their record.
Mhm.
And so in 2007, it was actually Bryant Hollinger and Hudson Williams and I. We caught 409 pounds.
But let me interrupt you. That was 3 teams. Y'all combined 3 teams in order to come up with that amount.
Well, my partner Fleetwood, he got kind of sorry and quit on me.
He had a habit of that.
He realized that it was more fun to stay on the porch with Brad. And so he quit because that was one year we were in the boat and I was doing all the work. I was baiting, I was cutting the bait, baiting the hooks. Fleetwood was just sitting over there with all of his things. I said, Fleetwood, if you don't start helping me, I'm going to throw the cigarettes, the beer, and that radio, his boombox, in the river. And he looked over there at me and said, well, you might as well just throw me on in there with them.
Oh.
Anyway, Fleetwood had quit. He had retired himself and was helping Brad. And so I had to recruit Bryant and Hudson. But we had caught 409 pounds, but the judges, which really had conflict of interest, they docked it was really dry that year and the water was low. And
well, I remember. I'm gonna have to take up for the judges now because they did their research and they contacted the Corps of Engineers and they got them. They had it all documented now.
They said that because the pool was low and the fish were constrained and it was easier to catch them and all of that, so it wasn't fair. So they had to cut us back some. So.
Well,
they were the judges. What do you do? I do remember
And the judge owned the house.
We hired Mr. Van Waren to plead our case, and he had no luck.
It's quite impossible when your judge is also the host and the creator of the tournament.
That's right.
Well, let's talk a minute, William. Let's talk a minute about the cooking and the eating and the fun we had. The fishing was fun, but good Lord, the weigh-in was
it was a huge party, and there were hundreds of people that came, and it took a lot of fish to feed all those people.
Mm-hmm. Well, y'all caught a lot of fish.
Party.
How many pounds do you think was total we caught, William, roughly?
Well, let's see. In 2007, we tallied 1,328 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, and Johnny and I caught, I think, 900.
In 2006, it was 1,551. And in 2005, that was the year y'all retired, it was 1,205.
Uh-huh.
That was a lot of fish.
Yeah.
We cleaned a lot of those fish, too.
Yeah, we were talking about how many of the participants and all that we've lost over the years. One of the main clogs in the wheel was Willie McCants that worked for us at the Chevrolet place. He would come up there with a crew to skin the fish, and didn't have to pay him because he took enough fish home with him that he was happy. He had
as much fun as we did.
Yeah, he was a good man. Little Willie McCants, he was good.
And talking about ones that we lost, this is Forrest and Jay. They were contenders.
Tell you what.
What year did we lose Forrest?
2002.
Yeah. So it was right in the middle when we were doing things.
Yeah, and it killed him. It just hurt him when we won. You know, he wouldn't ought to speak to me for a week.
We're a competitive family.
William, Taylor was talking about how she about the fun and how Wayne Dunham used to throw the sawdust and cornmeal on the dance floor. And I reminded him about the naming the dance floor after Brad and Wayne, the Brad Dunham Wayne, Brad Poe Wayne Dunham dance floor.
If you can call that dance.
Yeah,
That's a great picture right there.
it was. I'm glad you saved all these.
Me too.
Here's my favorite picture though, William. This right here. That was look at Taylor. Taylor was 2 years old.
That's how young Billy and I were.
Look, I didn't weigh but 225 then.
I was just thinking you look pretty skinny in that picture.
Name all of them from right to left, William. That's Will Curry first.
That's Will Curry and Frank Walburn and me and G and I can't tell who's there in the back. And then of course Paul J and Forrest and
Billy Chestnut. That's Billy Chestnut.
Okay, Billy Chestnut and Robert Smith, Mowgli.
Yeah.
He's another one we've lost. And then of course y'all two. And
who's behind Mobley over there? I can't see it.
I can't either. It's got a little. I've got something over my screen.
Might be Brad. But
that's Brad. Yeah, that's Brad.
Oh, how can we leave him out?
Yeah.
He's one of the main clogs in the wheel.
And let's see what else I got. I saved some of them. That's a good one right there. Now
Yeah.
Wayne guy.
Yeah.
So I have the championship belts are at my house, and they need to be put somewhere on display.
Big Daddy's got the spot here.
Yeah, put them in the studio. Yeah, I got plenty of room to put them in here.
Yeah, let's do that. All right.
That'd be good.
Put it right up there, boy.
Well, William, how did you end up with the belt?
He won them.
Well,
we quit,
I think because I had won so many times. I don't know. I think they were entrusted to me to keep until the next time, and then we didn't have another one. Everybody decided to retire.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I have also another piece of memorabilia. I have the lie detector machine.
oh,
Y'all remember that?
Yeah, we remember. We made it.
I don't think it worked, but
who was the lie detector machine operator?
Yeah. We developed that, and we probably could have sold the patent. But
FBI would have wanted it.
yeah, they would have wanted it.
I
And
want the studio too. That needs to be part of it.
I don't know if I can go for that big old thing. Hey, y'all, we're talking with a group of Taylor, of course, was just a young toddler then, but we started the Pine Barren Invitational Catfish Tournament back in 2001 with a group of great guys. We had, how long did it last, William, till 2008? About 8 years?
I think so. I think 2008, and I don't really have any records. I don't know where my records are from that year, but that may have been the last year we did it in Pine Barren, at Pine Barren Creek.
All right, and then we moved it to Miller's Ferry because I was involved in it for a couple of 3 years.
but the one that you sent that I saw was 2010.
Well, now, yeah.
Oh no, that was like
That's when Bain Henderson and them they kind of
Yeah.
took it over.
All right.
And I
Oh.
did that for a while. But that one got really out of hand. Not with the crowd, but with the fish. You know, when they put that 34-inch law in where you couldn't have each angler have one 34-inch, and they were bringing in. I said somebody's gonna get in trouble. You know?
Big Daddy, you know, we recognize the cooks and the fishing team, but you were the big part of this thing that
Yep.
you stirred it up. You are very good at keeping the pot stirred up. I'll say that. So, it really made it a lot of fun and furnished some music for all the late night fun, and we had a good time.
We had a good time. Now here's what I want to go around to each one of y'all. We're gonna start with William. And I know of all the years, William, you got one favorite story you want to share.
Well, you know, fishing with Fleetwood, as far as the fishing part goes, and that's probably the fish you're talking about. But the fishing part, when we caught that 46-pounder, which is the biggest one I had ever caught, we were down at River Bluff, and we were fishing with little brim, and we pulled that fish up, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was like, oh, this was great. It was that Friday afternoon, and he came up beside the boat, and we didn't near about have a big enough net for that fish. And Fleetwood tried to net him, and he couldn't. And he came back up by the side of the boat, and I was like, Fleetwood, grab him. And he's like, I'm not grabbing that fish. And you know, you mess with them too much, they're gonna break off. And he came up right by the boat, and I could tell that hook was just barely in the corner of its mouth. And without even thinking, I just stuck my hand in his mouth, and he clamped down, and I rolled him over in the boat, and we had him. So that I'll never forget that. But you know, just all the years of we had more fun talking about this thing before it and after it as we did during it. But it was so much fun just to get on that river. We had an excuse for about 3 days. We had to be on the river, and just to be out there day and night. And it was so much fun. And that was really before we all had, you know, we weren't all connected quite as well with cell phones and everything to keep up with everybody. So, you know, you just run.
That was a good thing.
but it was really, it was so much fun.
Johnny, what's your favorite story you remember of everything?
Talking about the barrel. Billy forgets we had a barrel. We had the fish in it, and got ready to get them out, waited till everybody, William and all them had gone, and we took them by to get them weighed, and Bobby Phelps was there, and he was weighing them. And Bobby says, something's wrong with these fish. They ain't got a tail on them. I told him, I said, hush, Bobby Ray, this is a fishing tournament, not a beauty contest. What's the fish? So we skipped those real quick before they came back. Yeah.
And I also remember you told them, said you not grading them,
Yeah.
you weigh them.
What's your favorite story, Billy? I know you got a bunch of them.
Oh, there's so many. It's hard to pick out one. I do like the one Johnny just told. I love that. But you know, this was a community thing.
Yeah.
And it brought a lot of us together that a lot of these young boys, I didn't know them, but I had fun competing with them. And well, let me rephrase that. I had fun whipping them. Yeah. You know, it was, it wasn't really fair. Johnny and I had so much more experience than they did. And we taught them, you know, over the years. And it got where they checked our lines more than we did. I remember one time, you know, when you catch a big catfish or catfish on a trot line, it'll be slime up and down the line. But we were pulling the line in, and it was slime on the line. I said, Johnny, we had one here. Next 2 or 3 lines, I said, Johnny, we're slime on this one. We lost another one. That's the 4th one we got. I can't say the word, but Johnny said, oh, man. You know, he said,
I said,
they
"Fuck."
not getting off, they being taken off. But it didn't make us mad because we were at that time, I think, about 300 pounds ahead. But anyway,
Cushion. We had a little cushion, huh?
yeah.
One year, you know, when the rules changed, you could bait up on Thursday afternoon, and then you would take the fish off Friday afternoon. So we backed up. We started baiting on Wednesday afternoon, and and we did that, and like we baited up Wednesday afternoon, and it rained that night, and the fish they bit. And we get out there on Thursday when we were supposed to be baiting up for the first time, and I bet we had 200 pounds of fish on our line. We were loaded. And so we were like, what are we going? We can't leave. We weren't going to leave them. We got to get them. We didn't have anything to really do with them. So we got them, and we made stringers of fish up and down the bank. We had them tied out. And so we just knew we were going to just smoke everybody. So we get back out there on Friday afternoon and go back to each one of our stringers of fish. And I guess the alligators must have gotten them.
That's what I was just thinking.
We had nothing.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt y'all, but I think Paul, Jay, and Forrest got those fish. I remember them telling me something about finding some fish, and I think the alligators didn't do it.
Might have been them.
Might have been. They were subject.
Yeah.
Taylor, I know you got some fond memories of it. I know you was young, but I know you got a story you want to tell.
I think, well, one fond memory I have, I don't know how fond it was in the moment, was the year that Brad fell off the dock. I don't know if y'all remember that,
Yeah.
where he broke it, and it's still broken from that. No, but I think my favorite memory is I remember one year when I was pretty young, and Tut and Johnny Webb were fishing in the tournament, and it was raining, I think, on the day. It was like, it had been raining, and everybody was coming in. And so I was worried about them in the rain. And I just remember them pulling up, and I was afraid their boat had sank or something like that as a young girl. And when they got there, I was so excited and relieved. And that was just a memory that I feel like I'll always remember. Just them making it back safe. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, I want to thank you for making this happen, Taylor, because I thought about this, but you made this happen, and your husband made it happen. But I want to thank you for that.
Man, I'm glad we got to do it. It's fun to reminisce.
You look great, Taylor.
Thanks, Johnny Webb. So do you.
Before we go now, we are recording this on, and I don't know where that feedback's coming from. Can y'all hear?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
But I can clean it up and post. But anyway, we're recording this on November the 10th, and I know that William and Billy and Johnny, y'all are all very, very proud of the Wilcox Academy football team, and you wanted to talk about that a minute, Billy.
Yeah, I did. Last night, our little old football team played the best game I've seen in a long time. Our coaches had them ready. We got 4 great coaches, and we've had a great year, and we have one more game. This was, what do you call it, the semifinal?
Yeah.
Anyway, they won last night by a big score, and our boys played great, and we've got 2 seniors, and that amazes me that 2 seniors can be such leaders, and they really are. And all the boys have just had a wonderful season. And we play Lowndes next Thursday at Crampton Bowl at 1:00. And any of you that are listening to this, you need to come support us, Wilcox,
Mhm.
and hopefully see as good a game as we watched last night.
Well,
But-
now, William, you got some skin in that team too.
I do. I'm proud of my little ninth grader out there. He's had a good season too, and just proud of them all. That's a great bunch of kids. And
Really
coach,
is.
Well, now, y'all, that's coming from Billy Johnson, who did play football for Bear Bryant. He did play football for you. Were what, 62 national championship team?
No, 64, 5, and we won undefeated in 66, and we did not play with leather helmets. This when I played was a little after that, but not a whole lot. It's been a long time. And Johnny was playing too at
Yeah, he
college
played
ball.
at Judson, didn't you, John?
Howard College,
Howard, yeah,
Sanford University.
Stanford
now.
University.
yeah. And you know, I guess us playing football is what made us the good fishermen.
Well-
We sucked it up.
Yeah, wouldn't quit.
Well, William, I said, you know, I didn't tell him you was coming on here. I wanted you to surprise him, and I think you did.
That was a good surprise.
Good
He's
surprise.
the only one that got sense enough to take notes over Oh,
I hope I didn't mess up a good story that was being embellished a little bit.
no, you didn't.
It was a lot of fun, guys, and I really do appreciate it. You know, one of the things that I started many years ago is I am very adamant about capturing the oral history of our area, and that's what we're doing today. You know, this will be gone. This will be going on forever. You know, with the social media we got now, and the way you can record stuff now, and the way you can, you know, I've got videos, and William's got pictures of it, and it's just, you know, our area gets a lot of bad press sometimes, but it's to me, it's the best place you could ever be raised to ever live right here
It's
in
a
Alabama.
close knit community.
That's right, absolutely.
You know, I after college lived in 4 different towns, and I was raised not far from here, but coming down here as a boy, and when I was 10, 12, 14 years old, turkey hunting, I fell in love with Camden back then.
Yeah.
And Matt and I were so happy when we finally got to settle in Camden, Alabama.
Well, let me tell you a story, Taylor. When your mom and daddy, before you even came along, they was in Canada. We called all of them the mini money changers. It was Billy and sister and Johnny. I mean, Billy and Mandy and Johnny and sister, Arden and Billy Chestnut, Dr. Blackman and Henrietta, Andy Cromer and Joe Cromer, White and Jill Smith. That crew, that whole crew were the mini money changers, and they would have parties, you know. And I remember we were at Billy Gibbs and Al Gibbs' house one night, and Al had just bought Billy a brand new antique table, and he hadn't put it in the house. It was on the back porch. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
And Johnny and Billy were two. I mean, they were ex-football players. I mean, and they loved arm wrestling. You know, they loved arm wrestling. And they got on that back porch and got arm wrestling. It was so much power on that table, it just disintegrated that table. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
I had to have
But
I
I beat him
had
over
to
at
have my shoulder replaced after that. It wasn't ever the same.
And Billy Gibbs didn't say nothing. That table was just destroyed.
Oh,
well.
yep.
Well, I tell you, we should have them. We should have Sister and Mandy, and I need to do one with. Hey Taylor, let's do one with me and you and Sister and Mandy. That's what we need to do.
That
I
sounds
don't know
great.
about that now.
And Daphne, get Daphne in here too. All right, guys, that's been fun, man. I wanted to do 30 minutes. We done about 45 minutes. Thank you, Taylor, for putting this idea in my head.
Big Daddy, thanks for doing it. This has been so much fun. I've enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
and
Fun seeing you, girl.
yeah.
Fun seeing all of you guys too. I miss you all.
Well, can you say something?
Me?
Make an announcement, some kind of announcement.
Oh, you want me to tell them our baby's name?
Just tell them you're gonna have a baby.
Oh, we're having a baby
Yeah,
in April,
congratulations.
and we are naming him Forrest after Dad.
Oh, that's
Yep.
awesome. That's awesome.
Wow.
Well, that's a big announcement. Any Catfish.
Yeah.
Well, we thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for tuning in. And y'all don't go nowhere now. I'm gonna cut all these recorders off. And you've been listening to Billy Johnson, Johnny Webb, and Billy's granddaughter, Taylor, and William Malone talk about the old Pursley Creek, Barron Creek Invitational Catfish Tournament back in the early 2000s.